Hello everyone, if you are new, my name is Marin. Welcome to another reading vlog. It is October, and October is the month of Becca's Spookoplathon as opposed to Bookoplathon. And if you are not familiar, Spookoplathon is a month-long readathon that is taking place during the month of October. There's a whole game board that Becca created, and I figured I would go ahead and vlog a few weeks of the month because it's actually already going into the second week of the month, and bring you along as I attempt to finish not only my Spookoplathon TBR but my October TBR in general. So that's what we're gonna do, or at least that's what we're gonna attempt to do in this first vlog. So I want to go ahead and do like a quick little reading recap. So I have finished 2 books already this month. I'm trying to think. It's 2 books. I finished reading Cleopatra, A Life, which I actually put into my September wrap-up because I did finish it on the day that I was filming. So I just put it in there even though it's technically an October book. So I finished that one. I also finished listening to the audio of They Never Learn by Layne Fargo, which is a book off my 23 and 2023 list. So that is also done. But I have not finished any books from my Spookoplathon TBR or my October TBR. So let's kind of do a little chatting. I'm going to take you through what I'm going to be reading to start off this vlog. And then if I happen to get to anything else, we'll chat about that later. I am currently listening to Auroras End by Amie, Kaufman, and Kristoff. This is from my Spookoplathon TBR. It's also one of the series I wanted to finish in 2023. But this was for the prompt Mary Shelley. And the prompt for Mary Shelley was to read either something by Mary Shelley or to read like a sci-fi book, which this one is. I am almost done. So I only have this little bit left. I have like 100 pages left, and I'm listening to the audio. So this will be finished tomorrow, and I will chat more about it once I finish it. But I am enjoying it. I still think the first one is the best book in the series, at least to this point, but I am enjoying this one decently well. So you'll hear more about this once I actually finish. And then a book that I was supposed to read in September and did not, and I've had to carry over into October, is The Chalice of the Gods, which is the 6th book in the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series by Riordan. I have started this one as well, but I have like over 100 pages left. So I am currently on page 102, which is chapter 14, and I do need to finish this. This was meant to be finished in September, and I didn't get it all the way done. This did not come out till the last week of September, so I vastly overestimated how quickly I could get it read because things were just very busy last weekend. So my goal is to finish this either today and tomorrow. So 2 days, have this done. And again, I'll chat with you more about it once I finished it, but this is like classic Percy Jackson. It's first person point of view, and we are back with like the original trio of Percy, Annabeth, and Grover. Percy is attempting to get accepted into college, New Rome University, and in order to do that, he has to get 3 recommendation letters from a different Greek god, one of which cannot be his father, and it has to be based on new quests that Percy does as opposed to previous ones because of the whole thing where Percy was not even meant to be born because his father was not supposed to have any more children, etc., etc. So he's having to like make up for his father's mistake basically in order to get into college. So that's like the premise of this. I believe there's going to be 3. He's already announced the next one after this one, which comes out next year. So I would assume it's 3 more, 1 for each of the recommendation letters he needs, etc. So I'm enjoying it, but I will talk more again about this when I finish it. And then if there is time in this vlog, I also am hoping to read the 22nd Nancy Drew book, which I believe is called The Clue in the Crumbling Wall. I am trying to read 1 Nancy Drew per month, and that's the one I'm on for October. But neither the Percy Jackson or the Nancy Drew book are on my Spookoplathon TBR. So these are like in addition to. Aurora's End is, thankfully, and once I finish it tomorrow, I'm actually going to be starting the audio of The Family Game by Steadman, which is also not on my Spookoplathon TBR, but is on my October TBR because it is the Literally Dead book club pick for October. So anyway, this first week's going to be a mishmash of stuff. Probably not a whole lot off my actual Spookoplathon TBR, but we're calling this a Spookoplathon vlog nonetheless. So Anyway, that is a very long rambly setup for what we're going to do in this vlog. Before I sign off and take care of what I need to today, I'm going to go ahead and share my new book of the month book, which is Starling House by Alex E. Harrow, and I am super, super excited to read this one. I, as of right now, do not have this slotted in anywhere on my TBR, but I may change that. I have already determined the book of the month books I'm going to read for the remainder of the year. So the one that I'm going to read this month is The Stranger Upstairs by Lisa M. Matlin, which is on my Spookoplathon TBR, and I might put this in for November's book of the month pick, but we'll see. So this is my new book of the month. I'm very excited. It's interesting because this one is a lot thinner than like either of the other two books that I've read by her, so I'm curious to see what happens. I believe this is like a haunted house story, so it would be perfect for October, but it doesn't fit on my TBR. And with this giant stack of books behind me, I'm not sure that I would be able to squeeze anything else on. So this one will have to wait just a little bit, but I did want to share it in this vlog. This is my newest purchase and probably the only one I'm picking up this month. So anyway, that's that. That's a little intro to this vlog. Right now I need to film a couple of videos that go up this week, so I'm going to take care of that, and then I will hopefully be able to do a little bit of reading on this one and at least get closer to the end so that I can finish it tomorrow. So that's that. I will chat with you later on.
Penguin Random House Audio presents The Family Game, written and read by Steadman.
Hello everyone, happy Sunday. I am home from running errands. I stopped to get a pumpkin cream cold brew. 'Tis the season. And I did my grocery shopping. I also was meal prepping, as you saw, before my battery went dead and just stopped in the middle. But yes, so now I'm home, I have the rest of the day. It's already 2 o'clock. I am not an early riser on the weekend, y'all. I sleep in and I get up and take care of errands after that. So it always takes me a bit to get going because your girl's not a morning person. Also, I did not touch the Percy Jackson book at all yesterday. I filmed those 2 videos and that was about it. I didn't do anything else. So I am going to be tackling this today, hopefully reading at least 100 more pages, maybe finishing it. We'll just kind of play it by ear. But I did finish listening to Aurora's End while I was out at the grocery store. I am going to give this one 4 stars. I actually think this was my favorite of the series. I know I gave 3 stars to the second book, and I cannot remember what I gave to the first book. I'll put the rating on the screen. But the emotional impact of this one was much stronger than either of the other 2. Now, this is not 5 stars because I found the ending a little confusing. And I'm not someone who like really struggles with sci-fi. So I feel like there was a little bit of like hand waviness going on to try to bring about the ending. I don't know that it was as fully fleshed out as it could have been, but I really loved the characters in this one with one exception, and it's the character that I've had trouble with like the whole time. So Aurora is not my favorite. I don't really find myself connecting with her. I felt like she was pretty dumb in the second book. She made some choices that I did not like. And in this book, I felt like they wanted her to be like the star, but I was drawn a lot more to Tyler, Scarlett, Finian, Zila than I was her. And that's been like throughout. I also felt like they really pushed Cal to the back in this one. I felt like he was just kind of like scenery, which was a shame because I did quite like him in both the first and second book. So there were some things I didn't like, but I am giving it 4 stars. I do feel like overall it's a solid ending to the series, and it is officially another series off of my 10 series to finish in 2023 list. So check that one off. That one's done. So that is definitely a success. I did start listening, as you saw, to The Family Game by Steadman. This is not a book from my Spookoplathon TBR. This is the Literally Dead book club pick for October, and it is on my wheel of TBR, which I'm gonna link that up above. I don't even know if I mentioned that. So that's that. That's where we are. I'm gonna read some more of this. I'll let you know my thoughts once I get a bit more into it. And yeah, finish my coffee, do some reading, and I'll chat with you later. Hey y'all, a little bit of a different view. I wanted to do like a little reading update. It is Tuesday. I did finally do a little bit more reading on the Chalice of the Gods. So that is the next Percy Jackson book. I was supposed to have finished it possibly Sunday, but I didn't touch it at all on Sunday. So I did do some reading yesterday, Monday night, and I'm going to finish it today because I only have like 50-ish pages, something like that. So we are kind of at like the climax of the story. Percy, Annabeth, and Grover have figured out who took the chalice that they are searching for, and Percy is like gearing up to like fight or battle the person responsible. And then we just have like the ending, I'm assuming, of him ultimately returning the cup to the person he was getting it for, because obviously Percy's gonna win, because that would not be a very good book if he didn't, and we couldn't have any more stories about him, and there's 2 more coming out, so you know, gives that away a little bit. But yes, I will talk more about how the book ends and things like that after I've finished it. Right now, I just wanted to quickly talk about my audiobook. So I'm currently listening to The Family Game by Steadman. This is the pick for the Literally Dead book club for October, and I'm intrigued, but I'm not like completely like invested in the story as of yet. So we're following this woman. She is marrying somebody from like a very wealthy family, and she's given this tape by her future father-in-law, and basically on the tape the father-in-law is like confessing to something. So we don't know if it's like legit or if it's just a game, because this family very much likes games. The chapter that I just finished involves her like having to partake in this game that she did not have a good time with. Like the family seems to have a very strange sense of humor, and we're still kind of trying to figure things out, but I'm like halfway through. She is hiding a secret that we have not become privy to as of yet, and she hasn't listened to the full tape yet. So yeah, I'm interested but not invested at this point, so we'll kind of see how it goes. But anyway, that's just a quick little reading update. I will talk more with you once I am home from work and I've finished the Percy Jackson book, and then we'll see what else I get up to tonight. So I'll see you later on this evening. Hello all, happy Wednesday. Since the last time I chatted with you, I've actually finished 2 books. So let's go ahead and talk about them. The first book that I finished was the Percy Jackson book, The Chalice of the Gods. I'm giving this 4 stars. The nostalgia was very strong with this one, and it was kind of like a very low stakes quest, if you will, much different than what Percy ran up against in the previous book. So I liked that. I liked getting kind of a more slice of life look at what his life is like right now. So he is living with his mom and his stepfather, Paul. Annabeth is going to school in NYC, so they're seeing each other very frequently. Grover is still hanging out with them. They have like this whole thing that they do. They like go out for smoothies like after Annabeth and Percy are done with school, and it's just very lovely to see that his life is going well considering everything he had to go through to get to this point. And there was the same humor, the same sarcasm, and I really had a fun time with it. So I'm looking forward to reading the next one, which is supposed to come out next year. There are going to be 3 total of these like sequel series, if you will, because he needs 3 letters of recommendation to attend the new Rome University. So that's like the setup for this whole thing. And yeah, I had a very good time with this. 4 stars. I also today finished listening to the audio of The Family Game by Steadman. So we've got this one here. I did listen to this one solely on audio, so even though I have the book, I wasn't reading it physically. There is a tape, like an old cassette tape that plays like a part in this book. And what I liked about the audiobook is that when it got to those parts, you felt like you were listening to like an old cassette tape. So that was kind of cool. Little nuance, little detail that I appreciated with the audiobook, but the book itself, not my favorite. So I didn't dislike it. I liked it fine, but I'm giving it 3 stars because nothing in this book surprised me. Nothing made me like feel any sense of shock, which I need with a thriller to like really give it a high rating. I also don't think that I'm ultimately going to be thinking about this book like at all after like a couple days. So it was fine. I felt like the writing was fine. I didn't have a problem with the characters. It was just that I felt it lacked kind of that sense of suspense almost. Like you should be feeling a little bit more considering that the main character, Harriet, is like trying to find out if like this family that she's marrying into has done like truly horrible things or not. And it just felt like there was like no sense of urgency. I just didn't feel like it was a life or death situation, which it probably should have felt that way. I don't know. I'm trying to like talk about it without spoiling it, but I did enjoy it. It wasn't terrible. 3 stars, kind of your run-of-the-mill average rating, but that's kind of how I felt about it. I was entertained and interested and engaged while listening to it, but in the end, it wasn't really anything special. So 3 stars for this one, but it is done. So we can officially check this one off, which is nice. And then this was actually the carryover from September. So nice that I made some progress on those. Now though, I need to kind of take a break from reading for the vlog because we have a staff meeting tomorrow. And as a staff, we are reading this one right here, Conscious Discipline, and I need to get the first chapter read by tomorrow's meeting. So I'm gonna do that tonight. I'm not gonna read anything like off my TBR. But basically, this one is like 28 pages or something like that. I don't think, yeah. So it says chapter 1, introduction. So basically it's introducing it. This is going to be read all the way through March, I think, is when we're finally finishing it, like 1 chapter per month. So I'm gonna go ahead and knock this one out. And then I don't really know that I'm gonna do much of anything else this evening. So we'll kind of play it by ear, but I have to get that read for tomorrow's meeting, just in case we have to like talk to each other about it. Obviously, I don't want to be sitting there with no idea what I'm supposed to be saying. So we're gonna read this, do some highlighting, that kind of stuff, so I can participate in any discussions. But before I do that, I have a little book haul here because I made some returns through Amazon and had that money sitting there, and I decided, why not spend it on books? And they were doing like an early Prime deal. So all 3 of these were like 45% off. It was like very good pricing. So I went ahead and I picked up this one right here. This is Wintering: The Power of Rest and Retreat in Difficult Times by Catherine May. I've wanted to read this one for a while. I'm hoping that I can read it kind of at the start of next year. I feel like that might be a good book to like kick off the year with. So I picked that one up. This one was drastically reduced, which was very nice. Then I also picked up this one right here, The Radium Girls by Kate Moore. I read a graphic novel version of this one. I'll put the cover right here, which I liked okay, but I wanted to read like the full length nonfiction book. So if you're not familiar, this is about a group of women who worked in a watch factory, and they were supposed to paint the dials of the watch with like a, how can I, not like, it was radioactive, but they didn't know that at the time. Glow in the dark, that's the word I'm looking for. A glow in the dark paint that turned out to have radium in it, and it poisoned them. Many of them had health complications. Many of them died from said complications, and this is kind of their story. This one's a chunky one, but I would like to read this next year, and I've always wanted to own a copy of it, so when I saw that this one was very much on sale, I picked this one up as well. And then the last one is one of the Penguin cloth-bound classics. I love these versions. They have like this artwork that relates to the story. They're cloth-bound. They have a ribbon bookmark. This one is The Count of Monte Cristo, which I have always wanted to read. It is ginormous and very small font. So when I do eventually get around to reading it, it's going to take me forever, but I've always wanted to own a copy of it, wanted to read it, and since I saw that it was in like the Penguin cloth-bound version, I picked this up because this was also like 47% off or something like that. So picked that one up. It'll look really nice on my shelf along with the other ones I have. I'm looking at them right now. So I have Sense and Sensibility in this version. I have The Turn of the Screw. I also have The Little Prince. And I feel like there's more of them that just aren't on my shelf. Oh, and Persuasion by Jane Austen. That's also in that version. But I would love to like collect like the full set of these because I just think they're really, really pretty. And we'll kind of see if I eventually do that. But yes, I did pick this one up as well. So you won't see me reading that one probably anytime soon. There you go. Small book haul done. And now I need to read the first chapter of Conscious Discipline. But I should be able to get that read probably in the next 30 minutes or so. So enough talking. That's all I have for you today. I will update you tomorrow because my goal is still to get the next Nancy Drew book read by the end of this vlog. So I have 2 days after today left to do that. Should be doable. I will talk to you more about that when I officially start. Hi all, happy Saturday. I want to go ahead and wrap up this vlog. I have not done any other reading really since I last talked to you. I did start the audio of Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell by Susanna Clarke. I'm not very far into it, but I've gotten to chapter 9, which is page 116. So this is obviously going to carry over into next week's vlog and possibly farther. This is a chunker. It comes in at 1,006 pages, which is crazy. So you'll hear more about this in next week's vlog. But let's go ahead and do just a little recap because I did get some reading done, which is very exciting. Now I had mentioned that I was wanting to read the 22nd Nancy Drew book in this vlog. However, it is currently unavailable on Internet Archive, so I couldn't read it and I can't find it anywhere else and I am not purchasing it. So that one's kind of on a hold. We'll see what happens. The 23rd one is available, but I'm not supposed to read that until November. So I'm hoping that I can get my hands on the 22nd one at some point during the month. I will talk about it in a vlog when and if that happens. But let's recap what I did read. I finished the audio of Auroras End by Amie Kaufman and J. Kristoff. Gave this one 4 stars. I also finished reading The Chalice of the Gods by Riordan, which I also gave 4 stars. And I finished the audio of The Family Game by Steadman, which I'm giving 3 stars. So not too shabby, a decent start to Spookoplathon. I read only 1 book off of that TBR, but the other, this one, was from my October TBR. So making progress, and we will continue the reading journey in next week's vlog. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave me a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to my channel if you would like to see more from me, and I will see you in my next video. Bye everyone.